Hey there, my amazing angling friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the fishing forecast for a very particular day, the 19th of September 2025, right here in beautiful Ireland. Now, I'm not going to lie, this day looks like it's going to throw us a few curveballs, but with the right knowledge, we can still turn a challenging day into a rewarding one. Stick around because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to tackle the waters and maybe, just maybe, land that trophy fish even when conditions are less than ideal. This day is going to be special, not necessarily for a massive feeding frenzy, but for the clever angler who understands how to outsmart the elements and the fish. Let's get into it. All right, let's talk tactics for a few of our favorite Irish species. This time of year, as autumn truly settles in, some fish are starting to feel that urge to feed up before winter, while others might be a bit more finicky. First up, let's target the mighty pike. With the water cooling, these predators are still very active. You'll want to look for them in slightly deeper areas than in summer, especially around drop-offs, the edges of weed beds, and any submerged structures or snags. In these conditions, they might be holding tight to cover, waiting to ambush prey. My personal experience tells me that slow, deliberate retrieves with larger lures work best. Think big jerkbaits, soft plastics, or even dead baits fished on a legger rig on the bottom. Pay attention to sheltered bays where the wind might be less disruptive. Pike appreciate calmer water for hunting. Next, let's consider perch. These striped beauties are always a joy to catch, and September can be a prime time for them, especially in lakes and canals. They love structure, so target jetties, bridge pylons, sunken trees, and even canal boats. Deeper sections of canals and lakes, particularly along contour lines or underwater ledges, will hold them in decent shoals. For bait, small jigs, creature baits, or even a simple worm on a drop-shot rig can be incredibly effective. Small spinners or tiny crankbaits can also draw aggressive bites. Remember, perch often school up, so if you find one, there are usually more. For those of you chasing brown trout, in our rivers and lofts, this day demands a bit of finesse. With the cooler temperatures and potential rain, trout might be more inclined to stay in deeper, oxygenated pools or beneath undercut banks and sheltered river bends. Look for areas with good cover and steady flow. If you're fly fishing, consider nymphing rigs or streamers that imitate baitfish. Spinners in natural colors, or even a good old earthworm, can tempt a cautious trout. The key is presenting your offering naturally and patiently, as they might not be chasing actively. And for our coastal anglers, don't forget the flounder and the dab ya. As the sea temperature hovers around 15 degrees Celsius, these bottom feeders are still very much on the menu, especially in estuaries, sandy bays, and from piers. The stronger southwesterly winds might stir up the seabed, bringing food to them. Use a standard paternoster rig with ragworm or lugworm. Cast close to the bottom and let your bait sit. Remember, sometimes the simplest methods are the most effective, especially when the weather is unsettled. Now let's break down the conditions for the 19th of September 2025 across Ireland, so you understand why these tactics are key. The weather. The forecast indicates a maximum air temperature of about 15 degrees Celsius and a minimum of around 10 degrees Celsius. We're expecting a significant amount of rainfall, with predictions around 11.8 millimeters for the day, and generally, September in Ireland is a wet month with over 20 rainy days. Wind will be a major factor, strong southwesterly, reaching force 5 or 6, and even increasing to force 6 or 7 in coastal areas. This strong wind, combined with a dominant low-pressure system, will likely make fishing challenging. Fish tend to become less active and seek deeper, more stable water or shelter from strong currents and turbulent surface conditions when the pressure drops and winds are high. The rain itself might not be too bad, but the atmospheric changes associated with it are what really impact the bite. Water temperature. Across Ireland, the average sea temperature for September is around 15 degrees Celsius. While not freezing, this is a definite cooling trend from summer. Cooler water generally means fish metabolism slows a bit, but they also need to feed to maintain energy for the coming colder months. This temperature shift often pushes certain species like pike and perch towards more predictable holding patterns near structure or drop-offs, while trout might become more selective. Moon phase. For the 19th of September 2025, we're looking at a waning crescent moon. It's only about 5 to 7% illuminated and shrinking just 2 days before the new moon. Now, traditionally, many anglers believe that the fishing can be slower during this phase due to reduced tidal movement in coastal areas and less light for nocturnal feeding. While not always a deal-breaker, it's another factor suggesting that fish might be less inclined to feed aggressively and will require more persuasion. Overall fish activity. September is a month of transition in Ireland. While some species are actively feeding, the unstable weather, strong winds and declining atmospheric pressure associated with a low-pressure system, coupled with a waning moon, point towards a capricious to weak bite. Fish will likely be cautious, moving deeper or holding tight to structure. You might find pockets of activity, but you'll need to work for every bite. The key will be adapting to conditions, seeking out sheltered spots, and presenting baits and lures with precision and patience. So, my friends, what's my final assessment for fishing in Ireland on the 19th of September 2025? I'd say the bite will be capricious, leaning towards weak. Why? Because of that significant drop in atmospheric pressure combined with strong southwesterly winds that will churn the waters and the generally cooler temperatures. The waning crescent moon won't do us any favors either. The fish will be feeling these changes and will likely be holding deeper or sheltering, making them harder to tempt. This isn't a day for lazy fishing, it's a day for the dedicated, observant angler. But hey, that's what makes fishing an adventure, right? So don't let the forecast deter you completely. Get out there, put these tips into practice, and enjoy the beautiful Irish waters. Remember, a bad day's fishing is still better than a good day at work. Wishing you all tight lines and ni chwasta, ni cheshui, that's no tail, no scales, for good luck. If you found this forecast helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more angling insights, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. And most importantly, I want to hear from you. What are your plans for fishing this week? Have you tried any of these tactics in similar conditions? Share your observations and tips in the comments below. Your experiences help us all become better anglers.